국내 ICT 서울 기업에서 해외 미국시장 주요 분야의 최신 이슈, 교수님, 성교보의 시장 진출 기술 방법을 소개하는 중.
Just a little bit of my background and who I am. I've been in Silicon Valley in the industry for about 28 years. My background is basically in high tech, so I've worked for several different companies in the high tech space. For the last 17 years, I've worked primarily in the startup space. I've done 6 startups. Think to Me is my 6th startup, and I've also launched another company which I will talk about in a few minutes. I've raised venture capital. I'm a professor at 3 different universities, St. Mary's, Harrisburg University, and also with Think to Me. I have worked with over 1,000 students, about 250 startups, especially in Korea itself, and I've talked with many different programs, which includes KIC, NIPA, Kotra, Okta, and all the different organizations. I also speak in several countries around the world. That basically includes Brazil, Chile, Turkey, and things like that, right? Other countries. So I've pretty much been most of my career international as well, and with Think to Me, we pretty much run programs all over the world, which I'll just mention to you in a few minutes. So what do we do, right? What we basically have today is that we run an innovation institute. We work with startups, universities, small businesses, and large corporations. We kind of provide you Silicon Valley expertise. So we have a very large network of mentors and instructors. We're also developing now an artificial intelligence platform for education. This is a separate company and a separate project. We have a global network, which I will show you in a few minutes. And one of the things that we've also done in the past is done some work for Korean companies as an accelerator in Silicon Valley. So to give you an idea, right, we run various education programs. So some of the common things that we run here in Korea is product market fit, growth hacking, venture capital, business model canvas. These are all the different type of programs and classes that you require if you're coming to the Valley, right? You need to understand how it works there, what's the difference between Korea and the US market, and these are some of the different topics that we offer. We also offer a master's degree in techpreneurship. We partner with Harrisburg University, and this is a master's degree that we offer in the United States as well. So to give you an idea, these are some of our mentors and instructors that we have. We have about 75 of them. As you can also see, these are some one-on-one sessions that we show with working with various Korean startups and Korean students. These are some of the organizations that we have worked with in Korea, right? So you get an idea, these are all the different programs that we have run, both in Silicon Valley and in Korea as well. I personally have visited Korea probably over 30 times, so I'm very familiar with Korea, pretty much being all around Korea, right? And so as a result of that, I have a pretty good understanding of the culture and how business works here in Korea as well, right? So these are all the different, like I said, partner organizations that we have worked with in Korea. So to give you a little bit more of what we've done, today we have worked with over 500 startups around the world, right? A significant part of them is in Korea. We've done programs in Cambodia, in Chile. Last year we did a program at Google campus for SPC as well. And then some of the programs that we have worked in China. We also work with a lot of different universities around the world, right? So these are all the different Korean universities we work with. Universities in Chile, Spain, South Korea, South America, Taiwan, right? These are all the different programs that we run around the world. And just last year we introduced a program. We run this program at UC Berkeley, right? These are all the different Korean universities we had in Silicon Valley. We just finished, just on Friday, we finished our program at UC Berkeley. We had 12 students from different universities in Seoul. They came in, they live on the UC Berkeley campus for 3 weeks, and these are the type of programs that we ran. We ran a 3 weeks. I'm going to give you a brief introduction for the next 30 minutes or so to talk a little bit about this culture. So if you take a look at what Silicon Valley is typically Silicon Valley has always been this area down here, right? So for those of you, how many of you have been to Silicon Valley? How many people have been to the US, Silicon Valley area?
No.
Right, so there's a few hands that are going up. Right? If you take a look at Silicon Valley, we typically think of Silicon Valley to be San Jose, Mountain View, Sunnyvale, Palo Alto, right? This is where Google, Apple completely changed now, right? Today, Silicon Valley basically goes all the way up to San Francisco. Right. So in San Francisco, you get your Airbnbs, you get your Ubers, you get your Twitters. All this has become now the greater Silicon Valley area. So if you say Silicon Valley, today it goes up all the way from San Francisco, UC Berkeley, down to Sunnyvale and San Jose. This becomes the entire region for Silicon Valley. Right? Silicon Valley and Korea. In Silicon Valley, if you fail, if you make a mistake, and if you're not successful, that is perfectly okay. Right, like the Google CEO says, you can wear it as a badge of honor. So if you went to a VC and you tell a VC, yeah, I've done 3 startups and I have failed, they'll say that's a good thing. Our funding areas, right? We have accelerators, we have angels, super angels, we have different levels of venture capitalists, we have impact investors, we have corporate VCs, and we have crowdfunding. And if you might have heard, there is a road called Sand Hill Road. Has anyone heard of the Sand Hill Road? Right, Sand Hill Road is basically where all the venture capitalists, most of the big name venture capitalists have offices. Capital firms that got created, right? Eventually led to some of the bigger names in the 1990s, which is Axel, Sequoia Capital, and a couple of the others. Then you have First Round Capital, Index Ventures, right? This is basically the evolution of how venture capital funding and what has created out of that, right? Eventually, there's a, you might have heard of Y Combinator and Techstars. These became the top accelerators in the Silicon Valley. Then came AngelList. AngelList was able to create funding so that you can raise funding from angels online, right? So that, right? I'm not sure whether you've seen the movie Venture Capital. I'm sorry. You find out the person's age because you establish a certain level of seniority with age. In the Valley, age does not mean anything. You could be 19 years old, or you could be 25 years old, or you could be 45 years old. It doesn't matter. All of you are at the same level. And if I want to meet this person here, guess what? I can get there. I can get there. Right? I can connect with this one, this one, this one, this one, and get there. Do business there. Even if you start here, every single day you're going to build your network. That is what's going to give you the success, the opportunity, funding, introducing your product into the US market. This is what you're building every single day of your life if you come to the Valley. This is what makes it work. Okay? Okay, and we'll take a look at a couple other things. Right, so this work. How do you find this network? The one thing that you absolutely must have is LinkedIn. How many of you have LinkedIn account? Anybody? One in account. In the Valley, they don't use business cards by that. You have to take the risk. Right? For example, when you take some of these companies, Uber, for example, let's take Airbnb. When Airbnb first came out and they were trying to establish themselves as a company, there is a website in the US called Craigslist. There's a website in the US called Craigslist. Every single advertisement goes on Craigslist. Right? So if you're looking for a teacher, if you're looking for a dog sitter, if you're looking for a room, everything is on Craigslist. So when Airbnb came up with the idea of trying to find people to rent homes, right? This is a startup company. They came up with the idea. What did they do? They actually went to Craigslist and they hacked the data in Craigslist. They hacked the data. They took the data from Craigslist and they put it onto their website. Right? So they did, it's like not Uber broke the rules. Who were the people that fought Uber? All the taxi cab companies fought and fought and fought and fought Uber. What did Uber do? Uber kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger by doing the connections. Eventually, the taxi companies gave up and then the taxi companies became Uber as well. I'm going to jump from the bridge. Life is good again. I'm gone again. Right? This is the typical life of a company in the Valley, or even I'm pretty sure it's in Korea as well. No difference. I have been through this many, many times. We like to say it's an emotional roller coaster. It's playing with your head. Right? That's what basically this life feels like. And this is something that you're doing every single day of your life. Board of directors, and this is my board of advisors. But an alpha dog, we like to introduce into this picture. An alpha dog is somebody in Silicon Valley, and I know you get it in Korea as well, is somebody who is very well known, who has a lot of power in the Valley, and who can pick up the phone and who can make magic. What does that mean? I need to raise $5 million. If I have a person on my team who is an alpha dog, who is a very powerful Silicon Valley person, this person picks up the phone and goes, hey, I need to raise $5 million. Can you help? You would say, what's your bank account number? Text the bank account number, $5 million in the bank. This do exist. There's a lot of people who are well-known alpha dogs. If you can find somebody, right, you can go for pitch contests, you can do all these different things. But if you can find somebody who has the power and the capability to play that role for you, it can change your life. A well-known Silicon Valley alpha dog. Very powerful, good name, good brand, and things like that. What did Sean Parker do? Sean Parker met with Mark Zuckerberg, asked him to come into Silicon Valley. From Silicon Valley, Sean Parker picked up the phone, introduced him to Reid Hoffman from LinkedIn, introduced him to Peter Thiel, made the connection. What did Sean Parker get? What did these guys do? These guys are big names. They said, it's a good idea. There's a lot of companies like Facebook, MySpace, Orkut, Friendster, all of them. They gave him $500,000. They gave Mark Zuckerberg $500,000 and said, Mark, here's $500,000. You have one goal. Go get 16 million users in 1 year. Go get 16 million users in 1 year, right? And these are some very powerful people in the Valley. What did Mark Zuckerberg they were able to do? They were able to basically get 15.4 million users in 1 year. Right? They did growth hacking to get that. As soon as they got that, raising money, do you think Mark Zuckerberg did pitch contest? Right. What happened? Peter Thiel, Mark Pincus, Reid Hoffman, they're just going to pick up the phone and say, hey, we are raising $12 million. Can you get the money? Within 1 week, money's in the bank. Right? That's the power of the network. That's the power of some of these alpha dogs. Right? Subsequently, if you look at all the different things that happen with Facebook, today Facebook is worth $562 billion. Right? So if you think about it, these people, The power of that network is what changed. If not, Mark Zuckerberg will have to go into a pitch contest and say, I got 16 values of this company, right? They are Tesla's in the billions, Palantir's in the billions, right? These are all employees. So what does this basically lead to, right? If you think about it, look at the companies on this list. Look at the names of the companies on this list. Dell, Quora, Reddit, Indiegogo, all these companies, right? They all came from the employees of PayPal. So what does that create? What does it create? What is the connection here? Anyone? We talked about it. You have an idea. You have an idea. And if you believe in your idea, should you give up? You have a customer, they go, no, we don't need to ask. This is an amazing product. What happened in the 8th month? They shut the company down. Right? So it comes down to this product market fit. Product market fit, you're going to get this question every single time. And this is something that you have to spend your time on going, is there a market for our product? Is there a problem that we solve? What is the market need? What is the market demand? The market is demanding your product. The market needs your product, right? That's the market. Innovative products, obviously, the idea that you come up with, and then you say a great team meets a great market. This is basically the keys for success, right? From that standpoint. Now, I'm a startup company. I'm going to sell my product to anybody who's going to buy it, right? So you make one sale which happens all the time. You make one sale in Korea. You make one sale in USA. Then you make another sale in Seoul, and then in the surrounding cities you're going to do. So you have products all over the place because somebody in Korea wanted to buy the product, somebody in the US bought my product, somebody in China bought my simple reason. Okay, why do early stage companies for focus? What is the other reason? Anyone? What is the main reason why early stage companies need to find a beachhead market to focus on? Pardon? Lack of resources. Right? So it's pretty simple. If you take a look at things, if you're a startup company of 7 people or a startup company of 10 people, can you go to China one day, US the next day, Korea the next day, Singapore the following day, in different countries? You don't have the money, and most importantly, you don't have the time. The number of hours in a day is only 24 hours. You don't have the person hours available in order to do this. Right? Your goal is basically find the product market fit or the market product fit, then you're able to repeat. Right? In Seoul now, you sold your product, people are buying my product, people are buying my product. I have established my beachhead market. Now I'm going into the next city. Now I'm establishing this. Then I can continue to build. It goes to the bowling pin. If I hit the right one, my product is going to go down. Right? So to an extent, you always boil down to the number of person hours. If you're successful and you're building your company and now you've raised venture capital and you're doing it, now you can expand your market. Right? They said we want to be the largest online bookseller. We are only going to sell books. Right? So for 3 years, if you take Earth's biggest bookstore, that's their company logo. And from 1995 to 1998, they only sold books. In 1998, they introduced CDs. Today, what does Amazon do? They sell everything. They have AWS. They are creating their own. They just bought planes. They're doing their own delivery services. They're going into every single industry. Right? I would take a guess and say, guess what? You have 8 engineers in your company. Right? If I come and said you had 20 engineers, 20 people in your company, if I say how many engineers do you have, I'll probably take a guess and say 16. Right? In Korea, it's 75 to 80% engineering focused. In the US, it's very marketing focused. That's the difference. In the US, they'll sell you a product that doesn't exist. But because they're very marketing focused. Right? That's one of the significant differences that you see between the two cultures. If you come to the US market, you gotta go after a marketing focus. You gotta find that market. You gotta advertise. You gotta use your social media. You gotta figure out that market. You're purely focused on those areas, right? And yes, there are different ways you can do it. There are something called growth hacking that you can use your engineering resources to do marketing and things like that. Oh, can you set up some venture capital meetings for us? We want to raise money in Silicon Valley. Right? I get this thing every single time with companies that come. Not only Korean companies, even companies from startups from other parts of the world too. Everybody comes. It is, to put it simply, it's not easy to raise money in Silicon Valley. It's not easy. Right? To raise money in Silicon Valley, the average time is about 6 months. So if you're trying to raise money in the Valley, if you turn and say, I'm starting January 1, the chances of you getting money, you'll probably get the money, but it's going to take you 6 months to raise that money. It's not 1 week, it's not 2 weeks, it's not 1 month. It's 6 months to raise money. And that is something you have to remember. If you're going to do it, you have to spend the time, you have to spend the effort, you have to be there, and you have to try and raise the money. Another thing I was going to mention, remember I talked to you about culture. Right? They do not care. Just because you're an older senior person, it doesn't mean that you're going to get respect. It doesn't mean. There was an incident in the US where a father and son team came to the US. They were there for a program one time. It was a program offered by Coach, I think. And the son took the workshop. The father, who was the CEO, didn't take the workshop. And then he turned and told me, oh, I got a VC meeting. Right. So I turned and told him, hey, let us tell you what does it mean you got a VC meeting? He said, I got my presentation, I got everything ready, and I'm going to talk tomorrow. I said, you need to understand how Silicon Valley venture capitalists work. He goes, yes, but I'm a senior person. Right. So you can find all the different VCs in there, and you can find out the rankings of the VCs and things like that. But this is something you must remember if you come to the Valley. Trust me, this is the most important slide you need to know. Right? It's not 1 week, it's not 2 weeks, it's 6 months. You gotta have LinkedIn, you gotta build your network every single day. If you're trying to get introduced, we'll talk a little bit about it in terms of pitching and things like that. But this is something that you have to do in terms of trying to raise money. Okay? You have to learn to come and live there. Don't come for 2 weeks and go, I'm here, I'm going back to Korea, I'll come back again. You literally have to be there. Raising money, I should put that here and I missed it, is a full-time job. As the CEO of the company, it's a full-time job. You're going to go from 10 o'clock to a coffee meeting, to a presentation, to another LinkedIn connection, to another meeting, to another meeting. It's a full-time job. I'm going to ask you, hey, who do you need 20%? And I own 80% of the company. You don't own 80% of your company. The day you take money, you don't own your company. Right? And we'll talk a little bit about that. At the end of the day, the board of directors owns and controls your company. VC money, that's what we're left with. All this other stuff is owned by somebody else, not you. You may be the founder of the company, but you don't own that. You only own a small piece of your company. Okay? Now, if you take a look at the different ways that you can raise money, and how do you find the alpha dog? How do you get noticed in the Valley? Like I kept telling you over and over again, the biggest way is network. You gotta network. You gotta go out to LinkedIn. You gotta build your LinkedIn network. There are numerous pitch events in the Valley, right? So as a Korean company, you come there and you want to get introduced. You want to be able to go out. There's an event which is called Pitch Force. This Pitch Force, if you go to the website, you'll see that every week they run a pitch event. They take 8 companies, they have a bunch of angel investors who give you feedback, right, on the event. And it's a pretty successful event they run in the Bay Area, right? So that's a great way to get publicity. One thing I will say that I'm a little bit proud of is that last year in November, we had a Korean company from Daejeon came to the US for one of our programs. And this guy was very interested in pitching at Pitch Force. So I managed to get him in. It stands for Simple Agreement for Future Equity, and we'll take a look at it. That's the first stage of raising money. The second stage is seed funding, and then the third stage is a Series A, B, C, and D. Right, so these are kind of the early levels. So this is angel funding, accelerator funding, this is seed funding, and then Series A. Seed funding, typically you do a seed funding round, is going to cost you about $25,000 in legal fees. Less restrictions. So if somebody was to give you $1 million and say they're doing a seed round in the US, the lawyer is going to charge you $25,000, and seed funding has less restrictions.